Okay. Welcome everybody tonight to our Rockin Ambassador training call. And tonight I'm so excited because we have two Kellys on. We just said that we were going to have the Kelly and Kelly show tonight. And we have Kelly Schadewald and Kelly Black on tonight. And I'm really excited because I haven't heard Kelly Black's story yet. Kelly Schadewald and I are very good friends, and even though we live miles and miles apart, she's in Michigan and I'm in Texas, but we are great friends and we spent a lot of time together. But I'm really excited for you to hear from Kelly Schadewald because she is like a dynamite person and has just such a great story, and she's such an incredible leader. But I want to get started with Kelly Black. Kelly, are you on here?
I'm here.
Okay, I see. Okay. So, Kelly, can you just kind of give us a little quick story of like when you joined Plexus and a little bit about your journey with Plexus, just with the products and with when you joined?
About 3.5 years. My sister, Melissa Sapham, is who I signed up through after hearing her talk about it nonstop for probably a year before I did even try it. I decided, okay, I trust my sister. Let's go ahead and try it. So I signed up and I immediately fell in love. I had a baby who was, I think, 8 months old at the time when I started. So, I was feeling down a little bit about my weight, feeling down just all around. Plexus really helped me get out of that and get out of it fast. I don't know. I've been consistent ever since. I just fell in love. I love the history of the product. I love the customer service of the business. I really fell in love with the whole company. I'm nervous because right now
Sorry. I thought maybe you were cutting out because of my computer. That's why I put myself on mute. So Kelly, did you start out on the triplex?
Yes, I started out on the triplex and actually the X Factor Plus. Or X Factor at the time. X Factor with Aloe. I now take X Factor Plus.
Okay.
I also now, of course, there's many more products added into my daily regimen, but
yeah,
it kind of grew.
Cool. So what have the products done for you?
Better sleep. That was the first thing I noticed. The second thing I noticed was less sugar cravings. When I got done with a meal, I didn't want something sweet right away afterwards. Metaburn has given me, now that I've added it, focus. I mean, complete. Yesterday was the first day that I actually missed Metaburn and missed it. And I didn't realize how much I love the product until yesterday when I did not take it. Everything. I don't get sick. I could go on and on. I don't get sick.
Yeah.
I always had a sinus infection. Always just dragging throughout the day. Needed a afternoon coffee as a pick-me-up. Stopped for coffee on my way to work. And I don't do any of that anymore.
Yeah. I think sometimes we forget how bad we felt because once we've been on the products for a long time, me and Rod talk about that all the time. We're just like, remember how sick we used to feel? Like we didn't feel good and our bodies didn't feel like they ran clean. It's kind of hard to remember those days after you've been on it for so long, and then you feel good for so long. It's like, I can't remember. But then you don't want to go off of it to see because then you're going to feel bad again.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, Kelly, tell us what has happened to you recently. I know that Kelly mentioned that you were in the hurricane. Where are you in Florida? Are you in Florida?
I am. I'm in Lynn Haven, Florida.
And what is that close to?
It is in the Panhandle, right by Panama City Beach.
Okay. Okay. So what exactly happened? When was it that the hurricane came?
It was October 10th.
Okay. So what happened?
Well, it turned, to make it short, we were not in an evacuation zone. We decided to stay and ride it out. It was supposed to be a Cat 2, maybe a Cat 3. We woke up in the morning and they said it's a Cat 4 now. We have a 4-year-old son, so we did not want to take the chance of being stuck on the road with him in the traffic of everybody panicked and trying to leave town. So we rode it out in our home. I cry while we were in our house. We didn't every one as we were just trying to hover for cover came and crashed through the ceiling of our bedroom and took out our bedroom, closet, and bathroom over on that side of the house. So we moved away the other way, and a tree came through the living room and cracked the ceiling, and water was pouring in. And I mean, by the time it was over, we were sitting in the closet hovering over my son, and winds of water poured throughout our house. So we lost our home. My vehicle was demolished and doesn't run anymore since then. I'm currently sitting in my mother-in-law's bathroom because our RV that we're living in doesn't pick up the Wi-Fi, and it was the only place I could run to really quick to pick up the call.
Okay.
So I'm sorry if there's an echo.
Oh, that's okay.
But our whole town is I mean, we don't have a library. My grocery store still doesn't have a ceiling. My bank is a trailer outside of an empty stone building. I mean,
Mm.
there's just a lot of damage.
Mm.
But I'm happy that my family's safe, my friends are safe. A lot after losing everything, you know, you decide, what do you want in your life? What do you really need in your life? And, you know, even Plexus came up as do I need this in my life? Is this something I can let go of? And I decided that's probably the only consistent thing in my life right now. Just it's been a long journey, but Plexus has been there. Plexus has been consistent the whole time. And I said, you know what? I love this so much. I'm not going to stop taking the products. I'm going to use this, and I'm going to turn it around and build my business to help my family rebuild everything that we've lost.
That's awesome. So you're not at home, you're not in your home, obviously. You're staying in a trailer outside of your mother-in-law's house?
Yes, we currently we were renting our house. And there's a lot of insurance. The roof still isn't fixed in that house, and there's black trying to get it. They just knocked down the whole thing, but we're obviously, I mean, we can't live there. We're out of this house. And yes, we were lucky enough to find an RV, an old RV from put it in my mother-in-law's, but their house is also in the process of being remodeled, which is why I'm in the bathroom, because everybody else is in the family room, and that's the only other room in the house.
Okay.
So
Okay. So Kelly told me that
it's a struggle, but
yeah, I imagine. I'm so sorry that happened to you. That's just breaking my heart. Like, it's just so sad, the things that everybody's going through with that. But Kelly told me that you have told her that, you know, that you're not making any excuses, that you're going to do Plexus wherever you are. And she told me that you had like really good PV last month, like she say $900 in PV.
Yes, I believe it was 9:30.
That's awesome,
To be
girl. That
exact.
is
It is the
amazing.
most TV I've ever had. A new ambassador.
That's
This
awesome.
month I'm through my downline and I'm working on one myself and just looking for new ways to start fresh. Your group helped me, the Fresh Start Freedom Finders,
Oh, good.
um, quite a bit. Just I've kind of turned to Plexus as the positive and have learned I'm growing from it. And it's more than just products, it's a connection with all of you. I feel like I have girlfriends all over that I can rely on, lean on. It's just been a blessing all around.
Oh, that's so great, girl. That's so good. And we're all rooting for you to get your life back together. And I think it's so awesome that you're doing this in spite of all of that. It's Plexus is such a huge blessing, and one day your story is going to be so powerful to hundreds of people that you won't be nervous telling it anymore. It's going to be just part of who you are, and it's your story. Nobody can take that from you, and that's going to help a lot of people out there that there's a lot of people out there that make excuses for that. I don't have enough time to do this business, or, I don't have the resources, or whatever that is. But seeing somebody like you doing it, in spite of all the tragedy that you've had, is very inspiring. And I'm really thankful that you shared your story, because so many people can relate to that, and just be thankful that they don't have that kind of thing going on. But I think that,
Pieces. I mean, I do work full time. I mentioned I have a 4-year-old
oh wow,
son. We're down to one vehicle, and I'm doing it, and I've no excuses. I said from the beginning is going to be my new motto for 2019, and it's going to be a great year. And so far, it seems to be working okay for me.
that's awesome. That's great. And then in a little bit after we talk to Kelly, I'm going to ask you a few questions about how you handle customers and how you get customers and stuff, just kind of what you do. But I want to talk to Kelly. Kelly's the one that shared with me about you and about your story when I asked her to be on the call for tonight. And so Kelly Schadewald is Senior Ruby, and she's been with Plexus almost 5 years. And Kelly, as I said in my post, has just an amazing amount of customers and team members. We've had her on calls before, and she just has no fear talking to people, which is what I absolutely love about her. And we could all stand to learn from that for sure. But Kelly, tell us what's going on in your life right now.
In my personal life, or if you want to know my personal life and everything, how long we got? No, I'm just teasing. I just, it's funny, when you had asked me to do the call today, and I'm like, and I had just been really messaging back and forth here and there with Kelly. Kelly's been on my heart for a really long time, just about, the situation that she's been going through, and how strong she's been through this whole entire thing, and, her no excuses. And when I reached out, and I'm like, I really think that she would her story is just so fantastic. And when I reached out to her too, and she was like, oh, I don't know, I'm going to be so nervous. It brought me to thinking the very first time that you had asked me to be on a call. And I was so nervous. Do you remember? I was like, no, I'm busy. I can't do it. I was so nervous. And it just helped me to really inspire Kelly to do it afraid. Because getting on that call with you the very first time, I was so fearful to get on that call, and it just made me think of her, and just how much, how inspiring her story is, and, to do it afraid. And, getting on here today, and for myself too, and even just sharing, it wasn't the same type of a fear getting on here, because I'm much more comfortable doing this, but it's the fear of maybe some of the things that I've even personally been hiding behind. Yeah, I have a very successful business, but I was blindsided about 2 weeks before I went on our cruise. I had earned the cruise. Well, my team and I had earned the cruise, and my daughter and I were going, and we were so excited, so excited. And about 2 weeks before we left, I got blindsided from a couple of teammates, one being my best friend. And they called and said they were leaving Plexus out of nowhere. And they were my strongest leg and took a lot of my team with them. And I was, here I am, I'm leaving, I'm on my way to the cruise. And I'm trying to give my daughter, for us to have this great time when we're there. And all I kept thinking was, oh my gosh, what am I going to go back to? Like, because being on the cruise, I'm trying to give her a good time. I didn't want to be on my phone the whole time. And I'm thinking I was coming home to nothing. And I didn't. I came home to so many team members that were faithful. Those that left. Left. And I know a big prayer of mine when I was gone was, Lord, break whatever leg you need to break, get everybody gone, and help me to have the strongest of all legs, because I was really off balance, to be totally honest with you. And when that leg was gone, it was the whole blindsiding thing. I just didn't see it coming. And it really took me for a loop. And it's actually, that's, I guess, where I was saying that I was a little fearful to get on here, not to admit that happened, but to admit that I haven't been personally, I don't think, the leader that I should have been a lot through that, because I was so angry. I was so upset about that. And, listening to Kelly, I don't know if it was a couple weeks ago or whatever it was, when she had sent me no excuses. And that's just been mulling over in my head. Like, I've made excuses. Okay, there's plenty. She's not making excuses. This person's not making excuses. We all have things that go on in our life, and it's the excuses. Am I going to allow that to continually hold me back? Yes, I have fantastic PV. I'm still adding team members, but I'm not. There's just so much more that I could be doing that I just haven't been doing. I've just been kind of hiding behind that. And, so I was a little fearful to even share that because there really should be no excuse, right? To let somebody else hold you back from your why. And my whys are huge right now. I have big whys.
Right. I remember one time when I started Plexus, Sonia Dudley she was one of the first diamonds that I knew of. And I will never forget one time she said, you could take my whole entire team away and I would just start over. And with the products that we have and the company that we have, there's no reason why I couldn't just rebuild it all again. And she said, I have no doubt that I could be diamond again, even if I lost my whole entire team now. Mm-hmm. And, that's so cool to think about that. That even if you lost it all, you would still have the products, you would still have the company to back you. And so it's all about what you do. You can't worry about what everybody else does. You have to just worry about what you do and how many lives are you going to change.
Oh yeah. There's so many still faithful leaders on my team. I have some amazing teammates, amazing leaders. And I think it really helped me to really refocus and just really look at really the team that what God has really blessed me with. I have an amazing, fantastic team. And I can't wait, really. You were saying, even to Kelly, like, you're going to have a story that's going to change people's lives. You know what? I'm going to have my own story as well. That's going to change people's lives. So is Shannon and Jenny and Kathy, and we're all have our own journey, and the things that it doesn't matter how long it takes you to get wherever it is that that your goal is. It's what you're learning along the way, and I have learned so much through this that I'm learning a lot, and it's just really, really nice for my eyes to have been open to as much as it's been open to. And sometimes it takes a tragedy or something like that, right, for your eyes to open to really see what you have. I have a beautiful team. I have a fantastic team. And I'm really, really blessed by them, every one of them. So
yeah, and I mean, you learn so much through those things that you become a better leader when those kind of things happen, because then you have a story to tell people of what they can do when they cross those bridges and stuff. It's just so part of our self-development that in our line of business, the biggest thing we'll ever do is grow ourselves. And all of these things that happen are just one step into becoming who we need to end up being. And that's just all about giving back to other people. And so many times we are put through these kind of things in order to be given the tools to help other people, I think. But I wanted to talk to you for a minute about customers. I know that this month we have, such an amazing promotion going on. Most of us, if you were active and had your subscription on last month, you got 6 free codes to sign people up. And then on top of that, they're giving us an iPad if we sign up 6 people. But both of you guys have such great PV. I want you to just tell me a little bit about how you reach out to people that maybe that you don't know really well, because obviously if you've been in it 3 years and Kelly, you've been in it 5 years, you're obviously already have gone through a lot of your hot market, the people that you spend your life with, your family and your best friends. So now you're going through your list and you're coming up with people maybe that you haven't talked to in a long time. Can you guys each give me a little bit of how do you reach out? What do you say to people? Do you relationship build first? And how does that look for you?
I personally, first, definitely. I am not so much as a cold messenger, the whole just starting right off with leading with the products. I'm always starting the relationship. I'm always adding to my funnel. I love people. I make people love me even if they don't want to love me. I am in your face all the time. I'm always, doesn't matter where I'm at, I'm constantly adding people as a friend on Facebook. I am everywhere that I go. I've made myself a little bit more busy. I want to say I've been a lot more busy. I make myself very present wherever I'm at with whomever I'm at and starting to build the relationship there. Even if I've met someone out there, like I did, I'm helping in this charity organization, and I'm going to be running a fundraiser, and I had a list of names, and it's building. I added every one of them, as friends, and it's just really, honestly, it's building that relationship, reaching out, saying, hey, it was such a great time to meet you today. Trying to remember, taking mental notes of maybe something small we might have talked about, just to start the conversation, to start the relationship. I'm going back and I'm reaching out to old customers, even some old ambassadors. I'm not having the greatest luck right now. I mean, I've signed 2 ambassadors, but it's not going to, it can't stop me. I mean, I've had more no's than I've ever had yeses, but my no's got me to where I'm at, right?
Yeah.
So,
right.
It's just continually reaching out and filling up that funnel continuously.
So when you build a relationship with somebody and you've met them, or maybe it's somebody that you're friends with from high school or, from 20 or 30 years ago. And first of all, how do you build a relationship? Do you like their stuff? Do you comment on their stuff? Do you send them a private message? Give us what do you do?
Sometimes, I make sure that I'm in people's news feeds all day long, all the time. And when I'm in other people's, or when I'm in somebody's news feed, whether it be, by asking questions, the call to answer, I will go back. Oh, I saw that you liked, this or something. Depends on what it was. And I'll try and start a conversation with them about the post that I made. Sometimes it's just dead air and they don't respond. And I never bringing up the business, never bringing up Plexus, but just trying to build the relationship, depending on what if they commented on it or if they liked on it. Sometimes I'll go on to somebody's page and if I've seen that they have, liked or commented a few times on some of my posts, I may go onto their page, look for something, not scroll back too far so I don't look like a creeper, but, and then just, go on to and send them a message. Maybe sometimes I don't have a problem telling a woman that she's beautiful or, oh, I like your eyes, in your profile picture. And it's always genuine. It's never, it's never not genuine. But I can start a conversation with anyone and I'll just pick out anything to start a conversation. And I just do whatever I need to do to keep the conversation going. Sometimes it gets shut down. If I feel like it's shut down, then maybe I'll let it go for a season, but I'm always refunneling back through.
So when you're talking to somebody and you're building that relationship, how do you turn the conversation to Plexus?
Sometimes I'll ask them, what they're doing, if they're working or, how their business is going. Sometimes I'll scroll back through the conversation to see if, sometimes I'll even scroll back through the conversation before I even reach out and see if we ever talked about Plexus before. Mm-hmm. Maybe revisit the conversation that they had, like, not too long ago, somebody had said something that one of their kids got into a car accident. And I hadn't talked to her or followed up with her in a really long time. And as I scrolled back through, I was like, oh, I'm just checking in to see how your son is doing. I haven't talked to you, in a while. And, and then as the conversation goes, something will always spark. It just always does, whether it's saying, how are you feeling or whatever it is. And she had mentioned something about her son, being inflamed or whatever it was. And, I mentioned ease. I mentioned that we had, some products, blah, blah, blah. Did she buy? No, but at least it planted the seed. Right. And I'll revisit it again at some point. But, sometimes it's ask if we have a special going on. I'll mention the special or, I've noticed before in the past that you've commented on some of my, Plexus posts. I'll use that, I'll say that sometimes and just wondering if you're interested. And, and I get all crickets a lot. I mean, don't think that when I reach out that people respond because they don't. There's probably 15 messages or 10 that I sent out today. Mm-hmm. That weren't. One of them was, I'm going to an event and I might sign up with another company. I'm thinking, oh no, you ain't. Oh no. So I guess I don't, so you're still getting the no's and you're still getting the crickets. It's just you can't stop.
Yeah. I get ignored a lot. I sent out a bunch of messages yesterday and a lot of them didn't respond at all. Mm-hmm. I think one thing that we are fearful of, and I know Bob Heilig talks about this a lot, that we're fearful of people thinking badly of us or thinking that we're just like trying to sell them something and we don't really care about them. But I think that one thing to remember is that if we're actively posting about Plexus on our walls and we're genuinely sharing how it's going to make people feel better and we're reaching out with the intention, even when we do bring up Plexus, we're reaching out with the intention of helping them feel better, that we shouldn't worry about what those people are going to think about us because, what are they going to think to themselves? Oh, that girl's, trying to reach out to help me feel better. They can't really think bad about that if you're genuinely trying to help them. And then the other thing is if we're posting regularly on Facebook, the people already know we do Plexus. It's not like it's a secret. Like, it's not like they're going to be shocked and go, oh, I didn't know she did that. We're doing something in a business on Facebook. Otherwise we wouldn't be posting testimonies and our own stories even. So I think that these people that we reach out to are not going to be shocked. They know what we do. So it's not like a cold message that you're reaching out to somebody that you don't know. These people know you. And if you reach out to them to build a relationship, they're obviously they're going to go to your wall and see what you're doing. So it's not going to be shocking. And some people are just waiting for you to ask them. You know, there's so many that just wait, and they forget about it. They see your post, they think, oh yeah, I need to order. I really wanted to order. And then they forget about it. And then when you reach out to them, they're like, oh yeah, I did want to order that. So a lot of times it's just kind of a reminder, but that Bob always says, you know, people aren't thinking about us as much as we think that they are. You know, that they're doing their life just like they normally are, and you coming in and sending them a message is not going to make them all of a sudden, you know, harp on the fact that, oh, this girl's hounding me, or I'm going to think about her all day. They just would say whatever they're going to say, and they go on about their day.
You know, it's funny, just even you saying that, there's few things I want to say about that. Like, you know, if I wasn't posting and being consistent, I post a lot, and I'm not always posting about Plexus, but I have for the past 5 years been very, very consistent in posting, to where I have people that now reach out to me, right? People that have watched me. Kelly Elias, I don't know if she's still on here. She was on here. You know, I didn't even know Kelly. I don't even know how I friended Kelly. I don't even know how we became friends on Facebook. But she watched me for almost 3 years before she ever joined.
Right.
You know, so, and it just made me think, you know, reaching out, we may get ignored, and, you know, and it made me think of sometimes when I'm sitting in church and they give the announcements. They have given the announcements at our church for the last few years. Every year they come around and they talk about financial peace. Sometimes, or financial peace with Dave Ramsey. That was the class that I was at tonight, the first night. Okay, they have said it over and over and over and over and over. It wasn't my time. Was not my time. I was not interested. I was probably talking during half the time that they were doing announcements. And it was my time. I finally heard it. I finally heard what they were saying, and it was my time. And it was like, boom, I'm taking the class. That was just it. So the same thing, had they not done it, and maybe another church was offering it when it was my time, I would have went to that other church and took that class, because now I'm ready. Same thing with Plexus. If you are not continually posting, and all of a sudden Renee's like, I'm ready. Who was it that used to post about Plexus? I don't even remember, right? Then they're going to see, they're not seeing Renee posting or, you know, Kelly Schadewald posting anymore, because they forgot about me. So it's got to be that consistency of posting and consistency of reaching out. And so I was thinking about that when you were saying that. I'm like, they've talked about financial peace for some, it just wasn't my time. Just like Plexus might not be somebody else's time, but eventually it's going to be.
Yeah, and you probably thought to yourself, oh, I need to do that someday.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Exactly what people are thinking. They're like, I need to do that someday, because they know it's good. We're posting about it, and they know it's good. So they're just, you know, waiting to see what we're going to do, or if we're going to remind them, or whatever. Kelly Black, do you have anything to add to that? I mean, you have really great PV. What would you say? What kind of advice would you give?
I do. I've also been very consistent about posting on Facebook. I do have a group instead of my personal page. Every once in a while I'll throw something on my personal page. But as soon as I add somebody as a friend, or somebody adds me, the first thing I do is go to my group page and invite them to join. But I've had the same thing happen. I mean, I've posted since I decided that I wanted to sell, which was, you know, a little bit after I started taking the products. And I mean, I didn't expect it to get as big as it is now. Now I've got, you know, my husband who's been watching me for this whole time. Oh, whatever, Plex, yeah, drink your pink drink, this and that. Well, guess who drinks a pink drink every day now?
Right.
I mean, there's so many people that have just watched, and now it is their time. I get it. They get it. And that truthfully is my biggest business builder now, is people that have just watched for so long. It's the same thing I did with my sister. Like, I thought she fell off her rocker for a minute at first. I mean, like, okay. And watched her and realized, okay, maybe I do need to try this. Maybe I do. And I really think that there's so many followers that have been faithful to me on my page, like my posts. Every once in a while, I do reach out to somebody. I also try to follow, I read through Facebook. It's like my morning newspaper sometimes. And if there's somebody that's always that they're tired or always complaining that they're sick again or something, I try to be friendly and reach out like, hey, I used to feel like that too, but don't anymore. If you're interested, just kind of go from there. Take it. I've tweaked, my messages and just played with them and tried to use what works best.
That's awesome. Yeah. Consistency is obviously key in everything that we do, taking our products as well as posting and reaching out and building relationships with people and sharing, just what we feel like that these people need from our products and from our opportunity as well. So that's awesome. I'm so excited that you guys shared that with us. I wanted to say one thing is that this would be a really good time if you're reaching out to people and you're really wanting to sign people and do this iPad thing with your codes. This would be the time of the month that if you were going to do samples, if you were going to do like sample giveaways, or you can get real creative with those things, because right now, if you send somebody a sample tomorrow, then hopefully they will get it by next week, and then, that they would sign up next week for you. But the earlier you can do that, the better. And one thing we were talking about earlier on a call was, if you can't afford to give away samples, there's no reason why you can't sell a sample. There's no reason why you can't ask somebody to pay $10 for a 3-day or a 5-day or whatever that is. And we were talking about how a lot of times more people will actually take the product if they pay for it, even if they pay a little bit for it. If they have skin in the game, a lot of times that's just the subconscious push that they need, that they got to start. A lot of times if you give somebody something for free, they'll let it sit on their countertop for 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 6 weeks or never. And a lot of times if they just, even pay a little bit. So you can buy in the back office the 3 days of Slim and Block. You can buy the 3 days of Slim and Edge, and you can sell those for what you buy them for. Or you can, bundle up 3 Slims and tell people that you're going to, sell them and have them PayPal you, and then have them try it, follow up with them, and, just really talk about how great of a deal the welcome packs are. And that you have this code right now, they can buy wholesale for a whole year, and they can get a welcome pack, which we would all love to still be able to buy welcome packs all the time because they are such a great deal. So that's just an idea I wanted to toss out there, because this would be a really good time to do that, so that you had time to get them the product in the mail and then have them try it in order for them to sign up before the end of the month. So that's one thing that I'm going to be working on too as well. I want to put out some samples, and I mean, it's your choice, obviously, if you want to give them away or sell them. You could do a drawing, you can get creative with it, but I think this is a really good time to do that, because a lot of people want to try the pink drink before they invest, especially in signing up. Even though it's a really great deal right now, a lot of people want to try it first and see how they like it before they do that. So I also wanted to just tell you that I hope you guys have all signed up for convention, because it's coming up pretty fast. And we got to know the speakers the other day, which are Bob Heilig's one of our favorite, most of us, he's like our favorite person in network marketing. And so I actually talked to Bob yesterday, and he's going to do a call for us, our team, on April 25th. So really excited about that. And so happy. Yeah, so happy. I'm really excited about that. I can't believe he's doing that for us, but he is such a nice guy. And he promised me a long time ago that he would do a call for our team. So we're really excited about that. So you guys save the date for April 25th so that you can make sure that you are on the call with us live. And so sign up for convention if you haven't yet. And start those reach outs, start those consistent posting and building of relationships, because we have 3 weeks left to do this, and we can all do it. We can all put our minds to it and have no excuses for it, like Kelly said. Okay, we're going to go ahead and end the call, and I'm going to do a drawing on the Rockin' group when I post the call notes. I'd love for you guys to come on there and post what you took away from this call. And the reason why we do that is because there's a lot of people that either can't be on the call, they're either working, or they have a family event that they're going to and they can't be on the call, or maybe they don't even know that the call is a great thing. And so if they see everybody commenting and putting their takeaways, a lot of times that will get them to get on the call for the next time. And so if you have team members that are watching, even if they're wholesale people, and they see how excited people get over the calls, then maybe they'll be on the call next time. So that's why we appreciate that you guys do that, and just to add to the excitement. And it makes our guests feel really good too. I know that when people go on there and say what they took away from, they took their time away from their family to come on the call tonight. So we'd love to tell them how much we appreciate them and how much we learned from them and we're inspired by them. So I will do the drawing from the comments, and you'll have until midnight tonight to do your comments. So whenever you have time this evening to go post your call notes, it could be as small as, one thing, or you can post all of your notes that you took if you took notes. And we'll draw from those to win the sample prize that I'm giving away. And so I want the code word for tonight is no excuse, 2 words, no excuses. And so if you guys could just put no excuses and then what you took away from the call, like something great that you were inspired by, or something that you learned, or you can post all of your notes. But thank you so much, Kelly and Kelly, for being on the call. Really appreciate you guys. And I'm so inspired by both of you. And so looking forward to seeing you guys grow your business. And so thank you. Our prayers are with you, Kelly, as you rebuild your life from your tragic hurricane. And all of our prayers are with you, and our hearts are with you. And so we will talk to you guys later. We'll see you on the Rockin' group, and we love you guys. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye, everyone.